money them a tea. And them a sell out the beach. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy Kenyan, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch a blind and a resort to crime. You can't for me again. Come and say big up all the charities and all of the giver. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The urgent the promises done and them not deliver. Cut up the youth and rough and it's down in our river. Them a pull money and they lie them them. Corruption smell and they pocket them smell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell go mash up people start and thief when them spell it on me. When they treat the market man, it on me. When them a treat the cat man, it on me. When they treat the peanut man, it on me. When them a treat the dirt man, it on me. Global TV send another one. Oh, 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 oh. Global TV, I send them home. Yeah, man, this is Michael Buckley. I tell you, say, yo, the Global TV, yeah, man, me represent that 100%. Play the music, Global. Boom, shot.
Good evening and welcome to Race Bait and Bertha. It is your program, The People's Point of View, right here on The People's Point of View and your channel, Global Television. Thank you for joining us this evening right here on your program. Good evening and welcome. You would think when you hear the word or the phrase race bait and Bertha, you would automatically think America, Donald Trump, Europe. This is where your mind would automatically go. Never thought it would be right in our own home. Thank you all for joining us. Good evening to my family and my community of party. Good evening to all platform membership holders, moderators, viewers, and subscribers. Good evening. Debbie Jervis, Natalia Freeman, Prof. Gorgeous Lady, Sunshine, Annie Smith, Patricia Matthews, Denise Hall, Yvonne Riley, Marcia Thomas, Rosemary Samuels, Annie Smith, Deborah Lynn White, Lilith Foster, Doris White, Real Black Woman, Maxine Cummins, Yvonne Johnson, Michelle Lewis Wilson's got gifts, always observing. Good evening, all. Good evening and welcome, Michelle Lewis. Good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us. The ramble continues, but as always, we have questions to ask. And once again, happy birthday to our very own Patricia Matthews. I hope you have enjoyed your day so far and the celebration continues. Once again, happy birthday. And we wish you here from Global Television many, many more. Miss Stiller asks, Miss Babs, why are you so quiet? You know, here we are going. What are you protecting? Why you're not speaking out on this particular issue? Matthew Sumuda, silent. Tom Tavares, silent. Kamina Johnson Smith, silence. a whole rafter of silence. But it's the way the Labour government treat many of our issues. Silence. Make we act like we never hear or know about it, Violet Watson. But it's getting more serious. Data protection breach. They say a PMP give them. But wouldn't you want to have an investigation? Wouldn't you want there to be an investigation to find out where the breaches happen? Or is it that no one in the Jamaica Labour Party is concerned about the breaches? Why it sounds so much like Uno convinced Darrell Vaz has not done it or done so, Georgia Dennis. Nestor warned us during lockdown period, did he not? May have an IP address and I'm well connected to such and such. And I will use it if I have to. Nestor did warn us. Nestor did threaten us, the Minister of Information. So would this comes as a surprise when Labour back is really up to the wall? The nasty game of catfight, Lorna Emery, is what the Jamaica Labour Party would deploy, and it is what we're seeing them deploy, the nasty catfight game, the race bait, the birther movement, and tainted Congo. These are serious indictments for our country, Blue Wave. The racism that we're seeing in Jamaica over the last few days, if this type of racism was meted out to Black people in Europe or North America, you would not hear the last of it. You just wouldn't hear the last of it. It seems, though, that even the upper echelons of society, the white side of Jamaica, the white private sector of Jamaica, the white-run hotelier industry of Jamaica, no, don't hear the racism we are going. Because when it happen nobody uno can't stop we from talk about it. Uno can't stop we from demonstrate about it. I didn't know that Jamaica had right-wing behavior. But then again, this is a party created by imperialism. So there would be that imperialism mindset. This is the party created by gangsterism. Therefore, it would be a gangsterism mindset. This party was formed to create chaos. Therefore, we're seeing the continuing chaos in governance of this party, but of late continue spiraling south. But rather though than this government stop and look at where they're going wrong, listen to the voice of the people. Bros, how are you? Listen to the voice of the people. and see if there is another direction, another way to look at the problem, another way to go. Should we step back from where we're going right now? Is the government listening to the people? Does the voice of the people matters to the government, Keith Salmon? Is a question all of us should be asking ourselves. Does the voice of the people matters to this government? And if it does, why an issue as Clark versus Speaker, a line has never been drawn under? There has never been any resolve to the issue. Would that not send a signal that this government either isn't listening or does not care about the voice of the people? Like and share the live, please. Don't make the war start so early. Don't make the problem start so early, please. Like and share the live. Please, oh. Please and thanks. Like and share the live. Don't make the problem start so early. We just start. We just start. Don't make the problem pluck up so early. It's too early for the problem, my people. So hit the like button so we don't have to get in an argument with one another over a few little likes. Lisa Hannah, good night. Miss Hannah and the other father. Good night, Miss Hannah. We are aware that during last year, when that debacle with Darrell Vaz and Dayton Campbell, we were aware from Dr. Nesbitt and those conversations that you're willing to work with Darrell Vaz to bring down the Dayton Campbell, Secretary General of the party, and thereby bringing down Mark Golden. Darrell Vaz is saying, Miss Hannah, he got the leader of the opposition information from a member of the People's National Party, Sharon. Would you, Miss Hannah, have anything to do with the leak of the opposition leaders' data? Were you contacted, Miss Hannah, by Mr. Vaz, Yvonne Green? It is said, Miss Hannah, that at one point you were willing to work with Darrell Vaz. This same Darrell Vaz, Marcia Biro, that is leading a data protection, a data breach campaign in order to topple the rise of Mark Golden's political career. The Jamaica Labour Party that cannot deal with the issues of the day. The Jamaica Labour Party and its leadership that has been found in breach of your constitution at least 5 times, at least. And there are more rulings to come against them. 5 times at least. And there are more ruling to come with them. Is your democracy safe in the hands of this government? is our free speech under attack? Do we have trust in our government to hand over our data to government or government in a digitalized society? The NIBS program, given what we've seen unfolding with the leader of the opposition, is there any of us data protection safe under this Jamaica, uh, under this JLP regime? Isn't this, though, nasty, desperate politics? When politician, minister who had responsibility for the Data Protection Act, minister who had the portfolio or the oversight of the data protection regulation at one point. This is the very same minister that is in breach of data protection. You don't see this very serious, Jamaica? You don't see this as a threat to your privacy? You don't see this as government can use your private information? Plain truth. Government can use your private information to blackmail you. Government can leak your private and medical information to embarrass you. Do you all see where this is going? A controlled authoritarian society. Shouldn't there be an investigation, though, to find out how, who, and why Mark Golden's data was published needlessly to the public, where there was no one violation of our constitution or laws, nor, based on our constitutional provision, there isn't a conflict of interest with regards to Mark Golden's citizenship. Good evening, little Matt. How are you? During the time you lived and studied in Canada, Matthew Samoda, did you have a Canadian citizenship? Do you also, Mr. Samoda, hold a British citizenship? Which of them? Both? None? Either? You lived in Canada for many years. You lived in Canada for at least your university years. Were you there on a student visa? Were you there, little Matt, on a student visa? Were you there as a permanent resident of Canada, Rena? Or did you receive Canadian nationality? What's your wife's nationality, Mr. So-and-so? Do you have dual nationality, Mr. Samuda? Matt, little Matt, we're talking. Dear Dog Paw Killer, do you still have your British nationality? Your British citizenship? And if you do you think there's any conflict of interest being the president of the Senate with your British loyalty and your Jamaican loyalty? Who is Andrew Holness protecting when Andrew Holness is limiting dual citizenship to the leader of the country only? Which public official, which member of parliament is the prime minister protecting? Why the prime minister is limiting solely to the ultimate leader? Why not everybody in parliament? Why this rule is not subjected to everybody in parliament? Why just the leader? Hmm? Who else in Parliament currently has dual Commonwealth nationality citizenship? Hmm? Who else currently in the Parliament has dual Commonwealth dual citizenship? Hmm? I don't think the Labour Party understand how low they have gone in an attempt to revive themselves. What you could do to revive yourself under Holness led regime is one, listen to the people, is to remove the conflict of interest that the country is not comfortable with. Your wife, the Speaker of the House. If that, if Mark Golden's double loyalty, as you put it, Andrew Holness, Beverly Edwards, the undivided loyalty you spoke about, Prime Minister, the conflict of interest narrative that the Jamaica Labour Party is running, constitutionally, do you not see a conflict of interest with two of your constitutional branch in one house? Even though not illegal, it's very undemocratic. It has never happened before in a democracy. This Bertha Jamaica, this race baiting Jamaica, though, is implementing undemocratic conventions within our parliamentary democracy, things that never used to happen before. The norm that it used to be, the prime minister and his wife, because of their political majority, and Evan Riley, how are you? And the power given to them as speaker, as head of the legislature, and head of the executive in one house, allows them to ignore the people, rip up normal standards, bring our parliament into disrepute, disgrace our country on the international scene. Jamaica, a beacon of the fight against injustice. Jamaica as seen as a beacon in the fight against racism, oppression, and apartheid. This Jamaica, in the last few days, is having a Trumpian era, race bait, and birtherism politics. If this was going on in the West to a black politician, you just would not hear the last of it from the black community as well as the white liberal community. That's in the PMP camp that gave him the information. I will believe it. He will be playing trick. I do believe Darrell is playing trick. He is putting what Darrell Vaz, in my view, with this argument, want to do is want to turn the war back internally into the People's National Party. This is Darrell Vaz's intention. Darrell Vaz, these are not the days when JBC and RGR and CVM would stand aside and allow you to do it blindly without scrutiny. We are here, Darrell Vaz. We are here and we are going to always. Our B-Town teacher, she must be busy. Shine a light on everything Jamaican foodie. Continue to hold all of you to account. But this is another part of the dirty politics. let's create an internal division, an internal war in the People's National Party. It's the tactics that Darrell Vaz and the Jamaica Labour Party is playing at the moment. But this matter should be investigated because it's a violation of our laws. This happened where our politician, Minister of Government, Millicent Jones, is involved in this data protection breach. I was glad when I asked last night, what kind of lie I go tell you? Sweet lie, 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 fool lie. Lie so you don't understand the question, but answer the question lie. Sweet lie, sour lie. What kind of lie? Make we see if we work out what type of lie.
That has been the most committed to the concept of data privacy. We've done a lot of work in promulgating the Data Protection Act, and that was coming out of listening to the people of Jamaica who had legitimate concerns about the privacy of their data. And just last week in the Senate, I would have spoken to the Data Protection Act and our commitment to implementing it on June 1 in a phased manner. So I think it is very clear in terms of our actions and also in terms of our utterances, that strong, deep commitment to data privacy. And I think in the matter that you have raised, he was very clear in his, very publicly clear, at least on social media, that the information that he received came from a member of the opposition party. He said that very clearly. We have not seen a breach of data in this instant. I believe what he may have been saying when he said that nothing is secret is that when you are a public official, there are always people who know things about you, and there are always people who, for whatever reason, may pass information on you. And I think that's what he means, because there is no way that he would be saying that, it's okay to breach privacy, because he is the minister that had oversight for the Data Protection Act before it came to the office of the Prime Minister. So he's very seized of the rules, and I have no doubt that he would not have tried in any way to breach the data privacy rules, because he has been such a critical part of promulgating those rules. And so it's important that when we have these kinds of discussions, that we don't kind of build on that low trust environment situation that we have. The reality is a lot of money has been spent on data protection and data privacy. And when we start on June 1, I made it very clear there is no exemption for government entities. There is absolutely none. The administration has been clear that all government entities have to comply with the Data Protection Act. And that says how important data privacy is for us.
Dem belly no dem boss, we sing say chala, na delila dem boss. Chale, chalo, chalo. Hey. Anybody understand what kind of lie this is? We back you lie. We agree with your lie, you tell lie. Hey, them belly no dem boss, we say. Woman, you see how soon you get yourself in a ruckus and fracas. Round ya. You see how quick you start? Hi, Sharon Powell. Good evening. Kevin Fairclough. Elaine Turner. Hey, good evening, Jamaican callers. We believe your lie, we tell your lie. What kind of lie are you prepared to tell us? Doctor, Senator, the Honorable Dana Morris Dixon. Portfolio, on top of portfolio. You just have to take them on so you have time on your hand, you know, have nothing for you. New lie, sweet lie, and nothing strange for you. Is it so, Miss Morris Dixon? Then if we not take it so serious, hey, Dana Morris Dixon swear for the criminal entity Darrell, Vaz. You hear me one, you say, careful. As Granny would have said, B-E, careful. Lady, where you get yourself in your womanness will not save you. Your pretty face, Miss Dixon, will not save you. If you continue on this trajectory, you will just have to weather the storm. If our data is so important, Raymond G., Noreen Dennison, wouldn't you want to know, get to the bottom of it, as to how the minister, the leader of the opposition rather, private data was put out in public boldly by a government minister who once had oversight of the data protection regulations. We asked you the other day, Dr. the Honorable, what kind of lie you prepare to tell we? Your lie, for them lie to protect them, lie to make you look good, lie to pull a wool over with eye, lie because we fool and we're going to believe anything we want to step on the bully pulpit, Miss Lady Ma'am. Uno want that woman here. Uno want her. Tell her to put on slippers pan hot sand because you can't go too far pan hot sand, Miss Lady. Especially if you have foreign foot bottom. If, my lady, Claudette Robinson, you have foreign foot bottom, you can't go too far pan hot sand without slippers. Careful the road you're driving down. It's quite a rickety. What's on the Jamaica road, at whole road, them, lady? Careful.
Administration that has been the most committed to the concept of data privacy. We've done a lot of work in promulgating the Data Protection Act, and that was coming out of listening to the people of Jamaica who had...
The fact that the Data Protection Act was promulgated, made widely known to the public, and those agencies and departments and wherever who would have to implement them or uphold them. How would that stop a criminal from committing a crime, Miss Morris Dixon? Come back and explain to us. Because it was well promulgated, or the long funny word we want to have, are made widely known to the public. Come and tell us how that would prevent a criminal from committing a crime, from carrying out breaches of our laws. Explain to us how that would help.
Legitimate concerns about the privacy of their data. And just last week in the Senate, I would have spoken to the data protection.
It's not a legitimate concern, ma'am. We are worried. We are heaving over as to what our government is planning to do with us and our data. We are worried sick that our government has sold our data to racist Frank Hester. We are very worried, Miss Dana Morris Dixon, that our government has handed over our security and data to a barbaric, genocidal, apartheid Israeli state. Yes, we are worried, not concerned. Worried sick.
Protection Act and our commitment to implementing it on June 1 in a phased manner. So I think it is very clear in terms of our actions and also in terms of our utterances, that strong, deep commitment to data privacy. And I think in the matter that you have raised, he was very clear in his, very publicly clear, at least on social media.
One who has a strong, deep commitment to data protection, data privacy. One of the first things you would want to know is how this leak happened, who carried out this breach, and for what reason. And would you be able to produce findings after the investigation, as well as what liability one who carried out such a breach would face?
That the information that he received came from a member of the opposition party. He said that very clearly. We have not seen a breach of data in the...
You're quite confident, Ms. Dana Morris Dixon, RJ, in Darrell Vaz's argument that the data he published, he received from a People's National Party member. Does the government and the data protection regulator wants to know which member of the People's National Party put that data in Darrell Vaz's hand? Wouldn't you want to know that? Curiosity kid. And to Lisa Hanna, who in the past, as we understood, was prepared to work with Darrell Vaz, this same Darrell Vaz, to carry out an attack on the Mark Golden and Dayton Campbell campaign. Do you have anything, Rowan Williams, to do with Miss Hanna, the release of the leader of the opposition's private data? I know you're hell-bent on disrupting Miss Hanna, the Mark Golden leadership of the People's National Party. Do you, Lisa Hanna, have anything to do with the release of this document? Did you hand any document to Darrell Vaz? Did you hand the document, Ms. Hanna, to a third party to hand to Darrell Vaz? Just asking questions. Dr. Nesbitt said you were prepared to work with Darrell Vaz to bring down Dayton Campbell. Or Darrell Vaz, is this one of you, Christine Gilbert, and the Jamaica Labour Party usual dirty tactics? Let's create an internal war. Let's create an internal war. Curiosity kid Lisa cannot be trusted. There's information out there that Lisa was prepared to work with Darrell to take down Dayton. Remember when Dayton did make the blunder upon the election campaign about when they did want to kill Andrew and we have to give him protection and something like them, something there? Yeah. Dorothy Brown, how are you? So, I have to ask Miss Hanna this question. Are you working with Darrell Vaz, as it was mentioned last year by Dr. Nesbitt? Did you hand the document to a third party? Do you have anything to do with the release of the document? Or is this just another nasty ploy of the Jamaica Labour Party? Another catfight that the Jamaica Labour Party wants to create amongst the People's National Party. So therefore, let's turn the war inwards on them. Let them war about it so we can get away out of it. Is this a distraction from Darrell Vaz and the Jamaica Labour Party to take the political heat off them and turn it inwards on the Jamaica Labour Party? There's a string of breaches. When these type of data get breached, there's a string of breaches, thereby an investigation is needed. But it doesn't sound to us like the information minister is nowhere, because she is telling us that in this instant, she hasn't said to us, though, how she reached such conclusion based on what I have seen and known. What Miss Dana Morris Dixon is saying to us, I accept Darrell Vaz's utterances, and that's that.
This instant, I believe what he may have been saying when he said that nothing is secret is that when you are a public official, there are always people who know things about you, and there are always people who, for whatever reason, may pass information on you. And I think that's what he means, because there is no way that he would be saying that, it's okay to breach privacy, because he is the minister that had oversight for the Data Protection Act before it came to the office of the Prime Minister. So he's very seized of the rules, and I'd have no doubt that he would not have tried in any way to breach the data privacy rules, because he has been such a critical part of promulgating those rules. And so it's important that when we have these kinds of discussions, that we don't kind of build on that low trust environment situation that we have. The reality is a lot of money has been spent, and
that's the shocking bit in a curiosity kid. Andrew Patterson, how are you? This is why I ask this woman, what kind of lie you plan? Fi tell we, fi them lie, fi we lie, fi you lie, lie, sweet lie, fool lie. Lie so you don't believe the question, but answer the question like, woman, you see where you get yourself in? You labor, you know. For your labor, you have to turn blind and dunce. It looks like you catch it quick for you come over here. You catch it quick, Patricia Williams. You catch the lie quick, the contagiosity of JLP lies. But on the international scene, Richard Sunak has set his Bloody Nose Day as July 4th. Conservatives in Britain will be wooled and mullered over, because the austerity conservative government, whether be in Britain or Jamaica, has brought the people to their knees. So the date is set in Britain, Akron sound system. The date is set in Britain for the bloody nose of Richard Sunak on July 4th. July 5th this year, Keir Starmer will go to Buckingham Palace and be swearing as Britain's new Prime Minister. Say you heard it here first on global television. Stalia, how are you? Careful.
Data protection and data privacy. And when we start on June 1, I made it very clear there is no exemption for government entities. There's absolutely none. The administration has been clear that all government entities have to comply with the Data Protection Act. And that says how important data privacy is for us.
How important data privacy is for us. How are the us do? Does this us involves the leader of the opposition data? Will the Jamaica people trust the NIDS program? Will the Jamaica people willy-nilly hand over their information to the government? Will the people stand up and ask the government to rescind the contract to digitalize their health records with racist Frank Hester, who wants all Black women dead? That racist Jamaican government, who allow the racist Frank Hester, to use the Jamaican government in a PR stunt to say he cannot be that racist. Pamela McNeil, if he's doing business with the Jamaican government. This race and Bertha Jamaica Labour Party stand aside, refuse to stand up for a Black British politician, a Jamaican by descent. Oh, Mark Golden by descent. Why is Bob Grange so quiet? Does Babs Grange still have Canadian citizenship? When Little Matt was studying in Canada, Freedom, was Little Matt in Canada on a student visa? Or was Little Matt, does Little Matt has Canadian residency? Or does Little Matt has Canadian citizenship? Presidential murderer sitting at the high chair of the Senate, Tom Tavares Finson. Do you have your British citizenship? Are you dual national? It is very worrying why the Prime Minister is limiting dual nationality to Mark Golden only. But I don't hear anyone having conflict of interest or loyalty conversation in the media circus much. That if the leader of the opposition should have unwavering loyalty to Jamaica, would we not expect that also from the government? Oh no. Not to use Miss Crackett's term. Oh, I love Miss Crackett. To use Miss Crackett's term. No, not if you're a roast bred fruit, bad built, butch body in green. Crying and screaming for Mark Golden to step down because Mark Golden is making your life hard. That phrase, hey, Jesus, bring back Jamal Express. Bring back Jamal Express. Because when the Green Blouse supporter of the Jamaica Labour Party is going to come out and tell you that the leader of the opposition, who does not make political, economic decision in your country, is making your life hard, and should thus step down. I mean, how do you paddle through this muddy water? How does one paddle through this muddy water? How far you would get before stagnancy take over? The lady said, Mark Golden, I make her life hard. Lady, then if Mark Golden I make your life hard, you know, how when Mark Golden become Prime Minister of Jamaica, you probably run go to the unthinkable thing, go do your 3 pint, because if if Mark Golden I do your son no, when Mark Golden no have no decision making power over the country, how you are going to manage, man? When I'm Mark Golden, Jesus, freedom, how you do? Maya Brown. When Mark Golden start to make the decision, then how you are going to manage? Be sorry for you already, you know, man. Be sorry for you already, because if your government in a power, your government who you run out for yesterday, come ask your position to step down. I want if you go, hey, Jesus. Neck jam flex. Something always a premier in a Jamaica. Jamaica no short a premier. Prime Minister, do us a favor, please. You see this new road project where you're depend, sir? Paint the road them red. Marine fast. Paint the road them red, Prime Minister. Something always a premier in a Jamaica. So we have to do the daily red carpeting. Huh? It was a premiere. Even though you never say long dress and jacket suit, it was a premiere. A premiere, though, of the dive of Labour's politics and integrity. Was it not? This was a dive. The week of racism in the Jamaican parliament, the week of racism in the Jamaican spheres, the week of racism in the Jamaican media, the birtherism, the race baiting, only something you would see in Europe and North America. Never, Pauline Dixon, have I thought Jamaica would be a birther country. Jamaica, Tash, would be a race bait country. And everybody just sit back and fold them hand like racism and hate is not a danger to be immediately stamped out. Racism and race hate. Let me tell you why this is racism. Because oftentimes prejudice and racism is intertwined and or confusingly defined. The Jamaican state and the current Jamaican government is using their power to block BLOCK, Mark Golden, from that privilege because of Mark Golden's race and heritage. Power plus prejudice, racism. We're not talking about I like this better than I like that. Prejudice. Me prefer that. That me love, me not love that. Prejudice. But to use your power, Jamaican government, to apply that prejudice thereby. This is how we end up with the definition, Brenda Elson, racism. And this is what we've seen being practiced in the Jamaican Parliament over the last week. This must be stamped out. This is a danger to our democracy. This is a danger to the life of our nation. This is inviting color division on our island. Antoinette Fairweather. Continue to spin, you fool. The man rape and get away with it. Who are you referring to, Antoinette? What else you wouldn't do, stupid woman? Are you talking about the woman you wear spin for Darrell Vance? So, I don't know why the Jamaican people, who when the whole of it are abroad, we're quick to fight racism. Why don't we want to fight racism in Jamaica? Why are we acting as if this racism is acceptable? If racism is not acceptable from white people, it's not acceptable from black people. It's just not. Racism is racism is racism. And wherever racism raises its head, Brittany L., how are you? Long time no see. Wherever racism, Andrea, raises its head, it must be stamped out. The white Jamaicans are in agreement because Mark wife is black. Same attack by and royal family and Harry and Meghan. I am surprised that the Jamaica private sector is so silent. The white-dominated private sector of Jamaica is rather silent on this issue. The white tourist-led industry is rather silent on this issue. Foreign mainstream media, you don't hear about the racism yet? You don't hear about the racism yet with the white opposition leader in Jamaica. It's been under a week of racist attack by the Jamaican government. Have you all not heard of it? I bet if Fangadangles was kicking off in Tivoli Gardens, one would find yourself there because it generates numbers. Have you not heard of racism in the Jamaican Parliament? And is this not a concern to human rights groups in Jamaica? Is this not a concern for Jamaicans for Justice? Is Mark Golden not a Jamaican? Jamaicans for Justice and all the other organizations. Is Mark Golden not Jamaican? The out of many one people bullshit, what does it really mean if all of us are so silent on this issue? What does the out of many one people mean? Only when it suits us? Only when it's politically advantageous to us? Is that so? The lady said, whether Elvaz say, I saw go, and me believe, say I saw go. So when we ask Miss Dana Morris Dixon the question, what lies, Miss Dana Morris Dixon, Senator Doctor, the Honorable, what lies are you prepared to tell us? I think Miss Dixon answer in this recording.
Administration that has been the most committed to the concept of data privacy. We've done a lot of work in promulgating the Data Protection Act, and that was coming out of listening to the people of Jamaica who had legitimate concerns about the privacy of their data. And just last week in the Senate, I would have spoken to the Data Protection Act and our commitment to implementing it on June 1 in a phased manner. So I think it is very clear in terms of our actions and also in terms of our utterances, that strong, deep commitment to data privacy. And I think in the matter that you have raised, he was very clear in his, very publicly clear, at least on social media, that the information that he received came from a member of the opposition party. He said that very clearly. We have not seen a breach of data in this instant. I believe what he may have been saying when he said that nothing is secret is that when you are a public official, there are always people who know things about you, and there are always people who, for whatever reason, may pass information on you. And I think that's what he means, because there is no way that he would be saying that, it's okay to breach privacy, because he is the minister that had oversight for the Data Protection Act before it came to the office of the Prime Minister. So he's very seized of the rules, and I have no doubt that he would not have tried in any way to breach the data privacy rules, because he has been such a critical part of promulgating those rules. And so it's important that when we have these kinds of discussions, that we don't kind of build on that low trust environment situation that we have. The reality is a lot of money has been spent and on data protection and data privacy. And when we start on June 1, I made it very clear there is no exemption for government entities. There is absolutely none. The administration has been clear that all government entities have to comply with the Data Protection Act. And that says how important data privacy is for us.
Bring them in, bring them in, bring them in from the fields of sin. Time soon come food. Time soon come. But I hope a question me want answer. Somebody with the words on the street say a vase, a Peter Bunting, release it. Andrea. Nothing no go so. That narrative is coming from Lisa Hanna's camp. Let me tell you. That narrative, that the information was released by Peter Bunting, I can categorically tell you right here on global television. That's a narrative from the Lisa Hanna camp. Okay? Don't believe the bullshit you hear from Lisa Hanna camp. Pardon my expression there. But don't believe it. That's a Lisa Hanna narrative. But Lisa Hanna must answer the question, as we aware from last year's recording, that she is prepared to work with Darrell Vaz to take down Dayton Campbell and Mark Golden. Lisa Hanna then should answer the question as to whether she had anything to do with the release of the opposition leaders' private data, or if Miss Lisa handed it to a third party, or is Miss Hanna involved any at all in the release of the opposition leaders' private data. Don't believe anything you hear from the Lisa Hanna camp. They're a bunch of mad, junking, crackhead dogs over there. I'd be a crackhead over Lisa camp, Fling them a bit of crack and a bottle, and you see how them just go up there and wallow in 3 years of pity. Ladybug, how are you? So don't believe their narrative. What we must focus on is the Jamaica Labour Party carrying out an investigation to get to the bottom of how and why the leader of the opposition, data was published. And everybody act like they not see open racism in Jamaica. All them will have picnic for white man. Overnight can turn racist. All them will decide to lay down with white man every night. Can ignore the white man where them are lay down with and attack Mark Golden's whiteness. We don't see the irony of some of these fools in public. The same woman them will be a white man picking it is going around having a whiteness tantrum. You don't see so not confused. Lady Pretty Pig, nice little pretty pig, you not feel you confused. Lady would think only Italian man look good. You don't confuse. Italian man and British man are still European man. Lady like pig, you don't confuse. Boy, no confused, bad. You no confuse. Me sorry for no confusion. There's a 4-part recording, or I think a 3-part recording on this platform with Andre Stevens and Dr. Nesbitt. A whole load of information is there. Listen, at 3 years, Lisa a plot. I used to have conversation with Lisa War Room team. They used to be a part of Partner Draw. They tried to use Partner Draw to destroy Mark Golden, Peter Bunting, and Dayton Campbell. And I met them on Partner Draw over there. So mash up even before me and Partner Draw mash up. A long time them depend the bangarang. Everything come, them think them find a mud that will stick. Me don't know how them not tired. Me couldn't live on one thing for 3 years. Sleep it, dream it, eat it. Get sued for it, get held in contempt of court for it. Then it's only a mad dog would continue such rant. After such, do you not think so them seeing their madness and drunkenness? So listen, if you all know drunk people, you know that drunken man in your community. You know that friend that doesn't know their limit to drink. I guarantee you, if you're a friend with that person for 20 years, and as soon as that person is drunk, the same story you heard 20 years ago, and for the 20 years, every time that person get drunk, you're going to hear that story all over again. That is how drunken people's story works. But I charge you, my people, to stand against racism on our island. We would not stand for this in the United Kingdom. We would not stand for this in America. So the whole world has stand by Miss Crockett. When the woman tell Miss Crockett, say, your fake eyelash. And Miss Crockett tell her, say, your bleach blonde, bad built butch body. You don't see the world as stand by Miss Crockett. But let me tell you something, Mark Golden. Stop playing a bloody NIMBY and WIMBY on this issue. Stand up and tell them I'm a proud British, I'm a proud Jamaican, protected by the Jamaican Constitution. I have done nothing wrong, and I am not going to give up my citizenship. And that's that. Nobody can carry you to court. All they can do is walk around and howl like a mad dog. Abner, in the dead of Christmas night. Give them chain, make them walk around like rolling calf. Them rolling calf enough already, them on go short of the train. Hmm? Give them a chain. Hmm? Give them a chain. But you, Mark Golden, must stand up and tell the people, I have done nothing wrong and I am under no duty to relinquish my British citizenship, which is protected by the Jamaican Constitution, and thereby couldn't have been a conflict of interest while Babs they have Canadian citizenship, Matthew Samuda, and the rest of them, murderous Tom Tavares, goose and gander politics. If it good for them, it good for Mark Golden. Is it not? Stand up against racism. If you accept this racism for white people, you must accept it for black people too. Blood run through the whole away. All of a sudden, Mark Golden is not Jamaican. And this isn't racism. This isn't xenophobia. Is it not? Could this argument reign in foreign, in Britain and America? Chanel Williams. You wouldn't have heard the last of it. If this was kicking off in Britain or America, you wouldn't have heard the last of it. Why are we tolerating such a behavior in Jamaica? Why are we tolerating this blatant, open racism in Jamaica? Don't you all find it troubling? Don't you all find it a threat to our democracy? Don't you find it as an opposition to social stability in our country? Is this not a violation of this one Jamaica? Is this not a violation of out of many one people? Democracy is under threat from your sitting government, Randy Thompson. From your sitting government, your government who has violated your constitution at least 5 times. At least the courts continue to rule against this regime when it comes to the violation of your rights. You think they're afraid? Do you think they are afraid to continue violating your rights if you allow them to? Norman Ferguson, how are you? We have to stand against racism, my people. Senator Longmore is an Australian, and multiple of them in the parliament are a green card holder. If it wasn't constitutional, why they give it up? Listen, we need to stand up against this. We cannot accept it. It's not good enough for us. It shouldn't be good enough for the leader of the opposition. Nor should it be good for any white people or people of any other race in Jamaica. Justice doesn't have color. Justice doesn't have preference. This is why in the Ma'at principle used in westernized justice system, Lady Justice is blindfolded. The symbolism of Lady Justice blindfold is that Lady Justice doesn't see your color, your race, your privilege, your heritage. Lady Justice is concerned with facts and law. That's why Lady Justice is symbolically blind. Lady Justice must not and should not see anything outside of facts and law. We must not be blind. We must not play blind to this injustice. We must not play blind to the Jamaican Parliament using the country's power to play prejudicial politics, which by definition is racism, because the government is using its power to put out public private information on the leader of the opposition. America. If this happened, if Putin did this, I'm sure he'd be having a rant over it. If the Iranian Ayatollah have done this, is it because, why is Andrew Holness not in the United States, Kamar Johnson? Because William Ruto, the Kenyan butcher, because anybody is willing to take on America's war efforts, or butchers like Benjamin Netanyahu. The Kenyan president is red carpeted in America. Part of it is to talk about the Haiti deployment. Why is Andrew Holness not there? The whole I don't know have consensus on provide on Bruja. That traitor. While some black leaders like Abraham Toure and Julius Malema and the rest are standing up, you have leaders like Andrew Holness, William Ruto, and Paul Kagame, who's bowing down. Because Andrew Holness and William Ruto has taken the Americans' deal to go in to Haiti in order to achieve America's economic and political goal in Haiti. Likewise, Paul Kagame, the Rwandan president, have ushered in transatlantic slavery with the British. Transatlantic slavery, all of these so-called post-colonies. While some leaders are standing up, some are bowing down. Isn't it a good thing that the South African court has blocked Jacob Zuma? Because Jacob Zuma is one of those bowing down politicians as well. Your Jamaica Labour Party, your Jamaica government is going to take your country to the brink where God help us if we manage to pull it back. We have time to stop it. We have time to push back. But if we all sit down and wait on the worst to happen, remember Friday, this Friday, the 24th, this Friday, the 24th of May, is when the World Health Organization and the World Health Assembly will meet in Geneva. It is where, if agreed, the new pandemic treaty will be ratified. Bangarang. Lilith Lockerbie. Bangarang will break loose on humanity if we don't wake up sooner rather than later. You don't think it'll go pretty? Sit down and wait. If you think this new order is going to be pretty, sit down and wait. You see the rush to all sort of digitalization. If you digitalize, that's how you will get cheaper bus fare. If you digitalize, that's how you will get that there. If you don't need this, you have to get this here because you have nibs, so you can get student loan without guarantor. A push. A slow sleeping walk to danger. But we don't now wake up. Kind of just feel so we chat too much and we fool. We don't want to wake up and go read and go get information. We're pointing into direction. We want to sit down and watch the sauce and the mix up. Some of you are going to be so late when it all kicks off. Some of you are going to be so confused when Bangarang start going down, because it will hit a lot of people unexpectedly. It will hit a lot of people unexpectedly because we see it for just what it is. Ask yourself this question. While the Jamaican government is on this narrative to distract us, what is going on that they are hiding from us? It's what, whenever you see government have a distracting narrative, ask yourself, what are they hiding from us? What are they doing that they don't want us to pick up on, that they are distracting us and diverting us to where they want us to have this conversation? But let me charge the People's National Party. Do not get carried away into this argument. Mark Golden is under no legal or moral duty to respond to what is going on. All Mark Golden needs to do is continue to craft his policy, continue to tackle the issue of good governance in Jamaica. That is what is working for the Mark Golden's opposition, why the Jamaican government and the Jamaica Labour Party is in a hissy fit since the local government election. Thank you very much for being here on the People's Point of View tonight. I really appreciate your support, but we could have done a little more with a few likes. And I could take the likes up to 150. It don't so bad. 174 of you on the global television platform. So, when we can hit on the Producer Win platform, there's 173 of you. Good God Almighty, hit the like button. And for those on the global television studio, thank you for joining. And those on GTV Group, thank you also for joining. To those on the X, thank you for joining. Good night from Global Television. Join us right back here tomorrow for the At a Glance program. Good night from Global Television.